tells me that we're live. Do you see
Well,
that?
I think that's it. We are live. Hannah, thank you so much for coming on the show. How's your day going today?
It's wonderful. It's a rainy fall day in Wisconsin.
Oh,
So,
Wisconsin. I love I had a friend who's from Wisconsin, and we always used to make fun of him for enjoying cheese and stuff like that.
we have a lot of that. It goes well with the beer that we have.
Yeah. Yes. So, Hannah, we were talking a little while before the show started, kind of about how you got started owning your own business, and you said that you're at your 1 year anniversary, so to speak. So, congratulations. And
Yeah,
can
thank
you
you.
talk a little bit about what you were doing before you got started running a business, and how
Mhm.
you decided to go with this, to go with what
Yeah.
you are currently doing?
Yeah, so I was a college advisor here in Wisconsin, go Badgers, for a few years, and I always knew I would be in some sort of like coaching or advising role, and that was supposed to be the dream job. I'm going to work with college kids, help them figure out their best life, their future, but it turned into a lot of time in a desk doing paperwork. So I tried a few different things while I was working. I became a yoga teacher, and that was a nice sort of outlet to pursue a passion. I started a network marketing business, doing my own, sort of at-home sales thing, and that gave me the first taste of entrepreneurship. That was like, like people work for less than 40 hours a week and still earn money, and they're not in desks. But ultimately, that organization wasn't the right fit for me. But I took a lot of those skills and decided I can make something work. So I kind of took a leap of faith about a year ago and quit my job. I had some, I could teach yoga and I could do some trainings, but I really didn't have like a replacement salary. And then I also decided, well, in that moment, I'll move to San Francisco, the most expensive city in the world, apparently, and I'll figure it out. And that's what I've been doing for about the past year. And so now I've gotten more and more specific about the type of people I want to work with. So I'm a business coach now, and I'm helping people figure out, create, share, and then monetize their passion projects.
How is that? How did you decide to go about that specific way? Because I really like that, because I've mentioned this before on the show, but it seems like sometimes people get into a loop when they're in business, when they're in a coach. Like sometimes the coaching world seems like a bit of a loop, I guess, where you have one person who's a Instagram coach and they're coaching the person who, runs a social media marketing agency, and that person's also getting coached, and that person's doing social media for a coach who serves, I don't know, other entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a circle, and that's great. That's great. That's awesome. It's not a diss against those people. That's great. But it's like, I always appreciate whenever it's someone like you who's trying to help people who maybe hate their jobs and want to break into being an entrepreneur, but don't know how.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and in the network marketing world, I had a really specific, like, this is what you do, this is what you sell, this is our script. And that just didn't feel right because it wasn't right for everyone. And so I got, certified as a life coach and started understanding about the options that you could go. And I thought, well, I want to work with people that, yeah, don't like their jobs and want to be an entrepreneur. But right, you're so right. You get into this, like, this world of bloggers selling to bloggers and like Instagram people selling to people that want to be on Instagram. There was still something that was like, I want to work with people who want to make it their own thing, not just sell on Instagram, not just sell this product. So it was really getting into it and starting to notice those same things and realizing there's a gap. There's, another sort of person that doesn't need specific Instagram training or, like I said, again, this specific product. So it definitely took some being in the trenches and talking to people and noticing what was out there and finding the gap. And that's what I'm trying to fill. That's what I'm working in now.
how do you usually talk to someone who is kind of in the position that you were in 1 year ago, where they, maybe they have an idea of what they're doing. They have an idea of what they want to do, but they don't quite know, they may be still waiting to take the leap. what do you tell that person?
Well, I often ask people the same question that eventually pushed me to do something, to make a change, to quit my job. And that was, if you keep doing what you're doing now, where will you be in 1 year, 5 years, 20 years? And are you okay with that? And if you are, and it's like, this job will be fine, I'll make the best of it, then okay, you know that. But if you know that there's more that you want and you can't just keep doing what you're doing, you start to realize, okay, I need to make a change. I need to start getting resourceful. And there are so many things available to us now. It's really just about that kind of like light bulb, that decision that I'm not okay with doing what I'm doing forever. And yeah, turning yourself into that resource mode.
Yeah.
You want, right? But this is also like, I've come to be like, whatever your passion is, I want to make that possible for you. And some people's passion is like teaching school or serving their team at work, and that's great too. So
yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that's cool that you identify, that you want to help people like that. You want to help people who, like I said, know that they want to be an entrepreneur but don't quite know what they want to do or how to do it. How do you help someone who maybe wants to be an entrepreneur, has some projects or things that they do on the side but doesn't really know how to turn those into a business? What are some questions you might ask them?
Yeah, so I always start, and this isn't quite as like strategic, I think, as you're asking. I can get to that, but I always ask, what is your mission? And like having a really clear sense of what your strengths are, who you want to serve, and what results you want to get is so critical. Because even if you are a blogger or you have a product, what is the meaning behind that? And you can't start really making a business until you've got something that people need. So if you're just like, I'm passionate about whales. Okay, well, like, let's turn that into a mission statement so that we can put something behind that people need from you. So that's a lot of the work that I do, is turning a passion into a mission. And from there, you can create a business and offer a service. So I can talk more about the mission statement. I don't know how much your group does.
So is it kind of like identify the problems that you are going to try to solve? Like I know Elon Musk always talks about you get paid in proportion to the problems that you solve. Is it kind of like that, or is it a little, or am I not quite getting it?
Yeah, I think it leads to that. But I sort of break it down into three parts of a mission statement. So the first thing is really identifying what you're good at. What's your zone of genius? What's your unique talent? And sometimes that's just being like relentlessly positive, or being willing to try anything, or being results driven. Those are qualities that you can bring into your mission statement. And then the second piece is, who do you want to help? So I'm sure many of you have heard in the marketing world, if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. So if you're going to say, I want to help happy people. Okay, where do they live? How old are they? What are they interested in?
Yeah.
So like for me, I love working with millennial minded or new entrepreneurs in order to then either solve a problem or get a result for those people. So yeah, it could be like you said, like you have to solve a problem and then you'll get paid in proportion to that. Or can you help them get a result or create something? So those three parts, like what are you good at? Who do you help? And what do you solve or create can become your mission statement. And then no matter what it is you ultimately create, whether it's a product, whether it's a class or a service, it's in alignment with who you are, because you have this mission statement that includes sort of your values and your direction.
I think that's a good way to go about it. If you have those three things, you have a business, or at least you have the start of a business. You have obviously there's more to it than that, but the great direction, and having a great mission is what you need to kind of keep yourself motivated. If you're not passionate about the crowd that you're serving and you're not passionate about what you're doing, then you're gonna it's going to be really difficult to to keep going.
And that's why the first part is like, it's about you. It's like, what are your values? What are your qualities? What is like coming from you before you can start to serve other people or create a result? Yeah, because it keeps you motivated when it's like, I'm totally in alignment with who I am and what I want to do. Finding that is awesome.
Yeah. Also, if anyone's listening to this, feel free to comment, ask some questions. It's what these live videos are all about.
Totally.
And what was I going to say? How do you identify someone? Like, let's say you have someone in your group, because I know you have a group as well. If you have someone in the group who seems like they have a lot of different things going on, because sometimes the internet can be a confusing place. Like, I've definitely fallen down that rabbit hole of, trying to set up a drop shipping business and also maybe trying to do some consulting and also trying to do podcasts and also a YouTube channel and blah, blah, blah. Like, how do you help them kind of decide what's the thing that you're going to focus on that's actually going to work out?
Yeah. So I could tell a quick story. I started working with someone that had 100 domains. She had like all these ideas for websites, and then she's like, oh, I got to buy it. And, there's a whole game of getting URLs and stuff. Yeah. And so, well, first of all, that could just be a business in and of itself. It's like the real estate of URLs. But we had to first, come up with that mission statement. And then her goals in working with me were to start earning money quickly. And so we talked about, okay, how can we take your mission and who you are to earn money? Is it going to be creating 20 different websites, or is there a faster way to get to your goal? And so she ultimately decided not to do any of her websites, but rather help other people create a website because she's got the skills. And so it was just kind of that dialing back into what is your mission? Like, what are you good at? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to have a bunch of websites, or are you trying to like provide information on the internet? And can you become a facilitator? Can you become a connector? You have to be the blog writer in order to achieve your passion or get in alignment. So it's definitely, an examination of what are your real goals and how can you use your strengths to get there as quickly as possible.
How did you educate yourself, for this job? Is it kind of stuff that you picked up while you were deciding what you were going to do, or have you been just learning a lot along the way? I mean, because I imagine you have a wide variety of people, a wide variety of different clients and people from all different types of businesses. How do you kind of stay on top of knowing how to help them?
Yeah. I so wish there was a how to live your dream life 101 class in college. Because I totally would have taken it and I would have had, this would have happened much more quickly. But it's a lot of, like I said, kind of jumping into the entrepreneurial world. Like being in this Facebook group is a great place for people to start. Just get that sense of what are people doing and then absolutely reach out to them. And of course, having coaches and like mentors in the field that you want to go is really helpful. Because there isn't like a textbook or a class or even that many people to say, oh, this is exactly how to do it. And that's part of the fun of it, right? Like you said, I work with so many different clients. So I'm grateful that I'm constantly expanding my network so that when something comes up, it's like, working with this client, I'm not an IT expert, but as she's saying, like, do you think that, this mode of delivering my service is better than the others? I can be like, hey, let me ask this Facebook group. Let me ask my friend that does, media. So definitely having a big network and not being afraid to use it. Like we're real people, right? Like engaging in this conversation is so refreshing to remember that we are all like here to help each other and just people.
Yeah. I know it's easy. We were talking about this a little bit before the show got started too, but it's so easy to just forget. I message so many people every day I've never met and maybe never will meet, just have random conversations. I feel like back when I was a little kid, I used to hang out on tons of internet forums all the time. Like I was really obsessed. I still am a little obsessed with Lord of the Rings. And I would just spend so much time on Lord of the Rings forums, chatting with random people about random things all day. And I feel like I'm doing the same thing now, but just over Facebook. But I love it. It's great.
Isn't it amazing though, like how many people have random passions? And like
Yep.
once you get really clear, like I love Lord of the Rings and I want to talk about it on the internet, and you find like dozens or hundreds of other people.
Yep.
I think that's a big realization, and Facebook is really helpful for that. But if you're having, some random passion, or I just want to do basket weaving, like there are other people that are interested or want to do that with you. You just
Yeah.
have to find them and reach out.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is a lot of times if you're in a specific little niche and you have something and you can find a way to monetize it, then all of a sudden you have a business, and then
Yeah.
you sell it to the people who want to buy it in your own little thing. I think a lot of people have this false belief that like if they're trying to sell stuff to their audience, they're somehow like cheating them out of money or something, or they're, you know what I mean? They're trying to like no, they want to buy it, most of the time. If you do a good job and it's a good product, they want to buy it.
Oh my God, we buy stuff all the time, right? And I think that when I shifted my idea of sales, right, because that didn't feel great either, to sell stuff, but to serve people. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go on my own out of network marketing, was because I only have this one thing that I can give. Like I want to be able to provide more and really speak to people's needs. And I think that thinking of yourself as a servant or as someone that's solving a problem, and once you get into that clarity with your offer or with your business, it's almost like it's laughable when people say no or think that it's too expensive, when you really realize like what impact you've created and the problem you can solve. And so it's again finding those right people and reaching out. But yeah, I like to use service more than sales now. And so even just that change in your vernacular can kind of help your mind wrap around that you're not sleazy, you're not in business just for yourself. Gosh, as entrepreneurs, it's definitely not easy. Like we wouldn't really be doing this if it was just like about getting rich.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. And it's all about, I like how you worded that. It takes away a lot of the stigma if you call it a service, because that's a lot of times it's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You might be selling the service, but you're honestly selling is it's almost like making the service known to people who might want it.
Awareness. Yeah, I think marketing is about awareness and sales is about service. And can I just kind of expand on this a little? Because I run into a lot of fear in myself and my clients about charging or asking for money, especially when you start to realize your worth is more than like $29.99 for an ebook, like that you can create bigger offers that really give you the lifestyle that you want. And it's about the impact that you're making. So if you got a free blog or a $19 ebook, like, are you changing people's lives? Is that really solving their problem, or are they just like looking, clicking, leaving it in their inbox? Right. But if someone agrees to like a relationship where you become some sort of provider and they pay you a larger sum of money and you're way more invested in making sure they get the results, and they're going to show up and, work what you're telling them and make the improvements to their life or increase their Instagram followers or heal their chronic illness, whatever it is that you can give them, is so much more impactful when you're both investing.
Yeah. As someone who has 1 million ebooks in their inbox, it's true. It's true. There's so many that never left the inbox. And then there's courses that I've bought that have changed my life, and you're absolutely right. You put so much more into it, and man, that's a golden point that a lot of people miss, is that when people want to pay for the whatever the service it is you're providing, because it helps them to commit a lot of the time. So if you're asking people to pay for your service, you're really just asking for them to take you seriously and take the service seriously.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a yoga teacher, so sometimes when I use energy, people are like, oh, she's woo-woo. But hear me out here. And that money is just one form of energy. So if you put out a lot of money, energy, you're gonna get more back, right? And it's the same idea. Like you're more invested, you're gonna get more back from that. Putting yourself out there with an investment, and knowing then, right, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, that that's the sort of response you want from people. You want them to like give to you so you can give to them. And yeah, that's the beautiful thing, the give and take that can come with making a big decision and really showing up to business or whatever it is you're choosing.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm the most woo woo energy person out here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We've got Louise Hay's book over here sitting on the table.
You can change your life.
Yeah, I know. Rest in peace, Louise Hay. But yeah, I totally agree. Like, is that something you coach people through at all? Like kind of the mindset that they might need to adopt?
Yeah. Something that I like to talk to people about, or something I've been saying a lot with my clients, is saying an affirmation, a mantra, whatever you want to call it, that is, yes, thank you, more please. And as entrepreneurs, I think we can, get caught up on numbers or in, certain sort of success that we're always moving to the, what more and more and more mentality. And I think just that quick, like, yes, like this happened, thank you, and I would like more. You're in that state of gratitude. You're in that, sort of open-minded, optimistic, moving forward, but not with the greedy energy or the needy right now kind of energy. Yeah, I totally believe in it, and I see it work, and I know it's hard. There is some science, and you can try to convince people, but you can think about it just as like being positive or being ready for the next opportunity. But I totally think that like when you've got the right energy behind a project or in you moving forward, it just makes it a lot easier and more fun.
Way more fun.
Yeah.
Way more fun. I mean, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. How did you, were you a doubter when you first learned about the energy stuff, or is it something you maybe grew up with?
Yeah, so I read the book, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. I continue to read it. And that was the first point when I saw some science behind it, that like you can rewire your brain and you create pathways for things to come to you. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. And then it was like literally that week, stuff was showing up in my life. I forgot about problems that I had. And so I was a very easy sell. But I will say that it took much longer for kind of looping back to this money conversation. People kept telling me, like, you're putting in the work, you're doing great, like, you do not just wait, like, the money will come when you're not worried about it. And I was like, yeah, okay, I keep hearing that. I'm pretty ready. Keep hearing it. And then literally the month I stopped worrying about numbers or thinking, like, I have to do so many things per month, stuff showed up. And so now I'm even more like, okay, if you say that this is it's coming, I believe you. Yeah, so I think that just like allowing yourself to try it and then noticing if it works, it will. Just keep building on that, because it's not easy to think that, oh, I just have a positive attitude and my life's going to change. Try it. Like if you keep doing what you're doing, is your life going to change? Like, why not try some positive affirmations? Like, yeah.
How do you start to introduce those concepts to some of your clients? Is it something that you kind of have to pick up on if they're going to be receptive, or do you try to implement it right away?
Totally. So there are some people that can come in and we talk about money as energy, and they're like speaking to themselves as though it's all their goals have been accomplished. There's this like act as if principle. Yeah. And that if you think that you're rich, like start spending your money like you're rich. It's got to come back. So some few people are there, but for others, it's just, what would a little more gratitude do to your day? And starting with a gratitude journal, the very basic, write down 3 things that you're grateful for. I'm grateful for my internet, my mom, and a roof over my head. Great. Keep doing that for the rest of the week. Think of new things. And then you start to realize again, I have a lot of good stuff and I'm grateful for a lot. And maybe I want more of that. How do I, continue building my positivity, it comes pretty naturally, starting with gratitude with them, even the skeptics.
Yeah. Yeah. What affirmations do you say to yourself these days to kind of keep you going?
Yes, I love, like I said, the yes, thank you, more please. And I'm so grateful for, whatever. Something though that I've been thinking about is I'm so grateful that I have everything I need, and I would like to earn more money. Right. So I used to say, like, I'm so grateful this amount of money is deposited into my account every month. And I recite that. And, you have to have some sort of goal of where you're going, like what you want to earn or how many clients you want to have. But I was getting too attached to that. Like I told you, when I let go of the numbers, they showed up. So I'm so grateful I have everything I need. And I would like to earn more money, or I'd like to have more energy.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there, not being attached to it, though.
Yeah. Because if you're too attached to it, it's almost becomes like a scarcity type thing, because you're just saying to yourself, oh, I need more money because I don't have enough money right now.
Mm-hmm. And then you get really narrow-minded too. Like, I need this amount. Okay, well, let me do the math of all the ways I could get this exact number. Well, you don't know. Like, maybe you'll win the lottery, and it'll be even more. And you're not even open to that opportunity because you're so focused on one outcome. But what about you? Do you have like mantras or sayings that you use these days?
I have so many. I'm
Are they on your wall? I love those people.
Yeah, I do. I have them in my bathroom on the mirror. A few that I've liked lately that I really have helped are one that I stole from Tim Ferriss, and that's I am unrushed.
Oh.
I am unrushed. I say that on my way to work all the time. The job that I'm trying to quit. Say, I'm unrushed. The other day I was running late and I was freaking out, and then I just stopped and I was like, I am unrushed. You know what? I am not rushed. Yeah. And another one is emergencies are non-existent in my physical experience. One of my favorite. Kind of goes together with I am unrushed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those are like my big two. Oh, and another one is nothing bad is going to happen. It's kind of simple, but really helps me. Those three, nothing bad is going to happen. You can do them as they'll all kind of play off of each other. You can see the mindset just by those three. You can see the mindset that I'm mindset that I'm now have overcome. But
the steadiness, the everything is a learning opportunity. I grow and go.
Yeah. Let me ask you about this. We'll end on the hippiest note possible.
Okay.
So I got these from my friend. These are not tarot cards. These are angel cards. Have you heard of these before?
Yes.
People on the podcast are like, this weirdo. We knew he was fucking weird. But these angel cards, what you do is you take them. These are like law of attraction on steroids. But you take them, and have you seen these before?
Yeah, I have a similar deck. It's more like yoga centric, so I'm interested in what the angels have.
Yeah, angels. So like you're supposed to, there's a deck of cards here, and you basically are supposed to ask them a question. Like, let's say, okay, am I going to make $1 million this month? And then it holds it up, and then you pick one, and it says like, let your past go. Little words of wisdom for you. And the idea is like, if you think that this is bullshit, then it's not going to work. Yeah. But if you really believe in it and you're trying to attract the energy that they bring you, then there might be something to it.
So funny. It's like the magic 8 ball.
It is like a magic 8 ball, but there's like 100 cards.
Yeah. I haven't heard it asking a question. I've heard before, like you lay them out and you pick one and that's what you need. And it's usually some sort of like reminder or quote or energy. Yeah. But I like asking the question. Did you see the card that you pulled out?
Yeah. So let your past go. I feel like that does work well with, I have $1 million. It's like, don't even worry about it.
Move forward. You decide.
Who cares? And the angels are like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you fucking with us when you're on a podcast? But I I could talk about this stuff all day. But
Yeah.
what's funny is what's not even funny, but so many of my podcasts that I've done lately have started off with us talking about, just relatively normal stuff. And then we go into this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like so many of them. Or we get off the podcast and then we're talking for a few minutes afterwards and we start talking about this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a coincidence.
No, and I think, so many people come to me because what are the exact steps that I need to move my passion into my business? And we can talk about, write a mission statement, practice these things, like let's review your strengths, all this stuff. And it totally comes down to your energy and your decision to commit and invest in yourself and start to serve people. That's a success formula. Like, know who you are and go help people.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are definitely steps that help you get there and help you feel like you're on the right path. Yeah, I totally agree though. It's what's behind all of it is this energy conversation.
I think so. And I'm glad to hear that you're feeling the same way.
Yeah, it's so annoying. I remember going to conferences and, okay, what's the secret to making my blog increase traffic? Just be consistent. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Got it. What else? Like I paid a lot of, and I wasn't in this right like mentality that, it's about energy and you're investing in all these little connections you make and these days. And I was like, no, I came here with a notebook. I came to write down the steps. So I definitely appreciate that, but know that you're going to keep hearing the same stuff no matter what level of success you are at. It's like you got to take care of your mindset first and foremost.
For sure. That reminds me of something like kind of just going off what you said. There's this guy on YouTube I watched called Miles Beckler. People in this Facebook group are probably tired of me talking about him because he's awesome. But he was talking about someone he knew paid $100,000 for a private one-on-one session with Gary Vaynerchuk, and Gary V basically just told him, make a video on YouTube every single day. I mean, he gave him a bunch more stuff too,
Okay.
Of course. But the biggest takeaway was make a video on YouTube every single day, never miss a day.
Yeah.
That was basically it. And I think it's true. There's so much that just goes down to consistency, being positive, having
showing
the right
for yourself and your people.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're doing it.
I try, I'm trying, but you're doing it too.
Yeah, and it's not an overnight thing. So even, he might need 3 years of YouTube videos. We might need 1 million Facebook lives. I might need, to meditate so many times before it finally hits me. That's like, oh, I can calm down.
Yeah.
And so, just knowing that consistency is key, and no one is an overnight success or, yeah.
No, I think you build quietly for 20 years and then suddenly you're overnight success. And everyone's like, oh my God, they're overnight success. They blew up.
Yeah. Something that's been coming up a lot is first people will ask you why you're doing it. Why did you quit your job? Why are you working on a Sunday? Why are you moving to San Francisco? This was me a year ago. And then now it's like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
We just saw you move. We saw you go kind of crazy. You posted more on Instagram, but now you're you got this dream life thing going on.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like, you were too busy telling me not to do it to see. Yeah. It's nice to get to that kind of how instead of why.
Yeah. I'm glad you're there.
It'll come.
I know. And thank you. Thank you so much for doing this show. And is there anything you want to close on or anything you want to promote before we?
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, I've seen a little bit of what's going on in the group, and I know people have some passions and some ideas. And so I'm happy to chat. I didn't see many questions come up today, but I am in the group and I would love to connect and hear what folks have got going on. Yeah. And I do have a Facebook group, Millennials Living the Dream. If anyone else is looking for another place to get entrepreneurial support and life hacks and community every day. Love to see more of you there too.
I'll put a link to your group in this group. So those of you in the group.
I'd love to see more of you, Paul. So thank you so much for having me all the way across the pond. This is so cool.
It's the crazy thing about the internet.
Can do very good things.
We can chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, thanks guys.